If you've been thinking about adding a Polene or a DeMellier bag to your collection, this video is for you. I have owned a bag from Polene and a bag from DeMellier for a while now, and I wanted to do a comparison. I know these brands are two very popular brands in the luxury contemporary handbag space. They are at a more accessible price point than a lot of these luxury handbag houses are, and for that reason I know they're very popular, especially on social media. You may have been thinking about adding one of these bags to your collection, so I wanted to do a comparison for you to maybe help you decide which is the best if you're torn between the two. The two bags I'm discussing in today's video are the DeMellier Small Vancouver bag and the Polene No. 1 Nano bag. These bags are at a similar price point. I believe there's only $5 difference. I think this one is $465 and this one is retailing for $470. They are both beautiful bags. The brands have a lot of timeless classic designs. So I will start off by saying both of these bags are really nice. There is one that is a clear favorite for me, so let's get into the different bags and let's start off with the Vancouver. So this is the small DeMellier Vancouver bag. I have it in the taupe grained leather. This bag is the smaller version. There is a larger version of this bag. This bag can be worn crossbody. It does have an adjustable strap, so you can shorten it if you want to wear it more like a shoulder bag. The large size I feel like is a little bit more functional when it comes to the changing of the strap and the style. It is a little bit easier, I think, because this one you have to pop out the buttons and put them into the different punched holes. So one of DeMellier's standout features is their signature hardware. Here you can see the hardware. It is very bold and most of their bags feature this hardware. Now, I will say that I do have a gripe with this hardware, and this happens a lot with this kind of lock mechanism on different types of bags, but you open it by pushing this button down here and it pops out like so, and there you can see where the lock pops into. Now, when this bag is empty, it can be finicky to lock the bag. This isn't totally unique to this brand of bag. It does happen with my Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. This lock mechanism here often has that issue when the bag is empty. It can be a little bit hard to close. And the same holds true for the DeMellier bags. If you pop it open like so, as you can see, it's just finicky. The bag is much easier to close when you have a lot of things in it and it's pretty full. If your bag is empty or you only have a few things that aren't taking a lot of space, it's going to be difficult to close. Now, the inside of the bag is lined in black fabric. It's not a leather lined bag. You do have an interior pocket back here, and then it's just one compartment inside. There are no pockets on the back side of the small Vancouver, and I will say that one of the things that I hear a lot about DeMellier and the negatives that I hear is the hardware. Not only is it difficult to pop close, as you can see I'm having issues here closing the bag. Let's see if I can close it on my lap more easily so it's not flopping around. But yeah, the other complaint that people have a lot is that this hardware scratches easily. I mean, it is a lot of real estate to go towards hardware. It is very shiny, so over time it's going to scratch. Again, this is not unique to DeMellier, but it is something to consider. If you're looking at a bag that has a lot of hardware on it, you should expect scratches. The area that I would say has more scratches is going to be on the little inside part of the lock. I have some scratches on there from just trying to close this lock. So unfortunately, yeah, this does experience a lot of scratching, and actually now that I look at it more, I do have some scratches at the very, very top. I don't know if you can even tell, but it's hard to get the camera to focus, but I do see some scratches at the top of this bag. So unfortunately, yes, this bag is very finicky with the hardware. It's easily scratched. Again, this is not unique to this particular brand. Any bag that has a lot of hardware on the front or where you have to lock it, you're going to get scratches. Now, I did want to talk about the leather of this bag. Now, if you're interested in finding out about the leather quality and about where the bags are made, you can see that information on both websites for DeMellier and Polene. They talk about how they source the leather, how they define the quality of their leather. This leather, it's not bad leather. It feels nice, but you can tell the difference compared to like a higher end brand that the leather is not as nice as the higher end brand. So again, it's fine leather for the price point. It's not my favorite leather. I do find that certain parts of it feel a little bit, I don't even dare to say cheaper, particularly this strap. Now this strap is as thick as my Polene strap, and I'll show that to you in a bit. but for some reason this one feels flimsier. Like I don't have as much faith in the integrity of this strap. If it one day down the road broke somehow, I wouldn't be shocked. Like I have to be very honest. This is how the strap is stitched onto the D-rings. It is just like a short little stitched and glued piece there. The other thing that I didn't really like about this particular strap is the adjustable punch holes. There were a couple times where I adjusted the strap on this and it popped open while I was wearing it and the bag fell. It completely came apart. The first time I thought it was just me, like user error. I didn't like lock it in correctly. I didn't put the button all the way through the hole. But then it happened to me again. So because of that, I kind of got turned away from wearing this one. The grain on this is nice, which I know that they don't often have the pebbled grained leather. They usually have the smooth leather, which I think if it were me, I might avoid the smooth leather if I could because it is going to be more prone to scratches. So scratches on the leather, scratches on the hardware is something that I know personally I wouldn't like for my bag. Again, it is still a very pretty bag, a very classic design. I can see why it's popular, but I do lean more towards my Polene bag as a favorite bag. So let's talk about that one and we can compare it and you let me know in the comments below which one you like better. I also wanted to jump in here and talk about the stitching. Like the stitching on my bag is great. I haven't had any pop stitches or anything like that. The glazing is also in great condition. I don't have any cracked glazing. Something that kind of bothers me about the DeMellier bag is when I open the flap, you can see some creasing going on there, like right here. There's a little bubble up here as well. I don't really love that about the DeMellier bag. Now the bag that I have from Polene is the #1 Nano. I have it in the Tri-Caramel, I think it's called. I'll put the name on the bottom of the screen here, but this bag gets me compliments everywhere I go. It is technically a mini bag, but it does pack a punch. As you can see, it is a nice wide size. It fits really flush against the body when you wear it crossbody, so I don't have any problems with it, like kind of like bumping around while I'm walking. It's just a comfortable fit. And comparing it to the DeMellier Small Vancouver, as you can see, there is a lot more capacity in the Polene bag. Now I do have a Kindle paperweight. This is a little bit smaller than an iPad mini, which I do get questions about, but this paperweight fits easily within the Polene Nano. So I'm just gonna open the buttons here up front and it slides right in, no issue, and you have tons of room in there to fit other things. It does fit in my DeMellier bag, but it's just, it takes up a lot of space, so you don't have a whole lot of room in here if you want to carry something like a Kindle. And the Kindle just barely fits, so if you were to have something larger like an iPad mini, I don't know that it would necessarily fit inside of the DeMellier bag, but that has been a question that I've received in the past. Now the interior of the Polene bag is also fabric lined like the DeMellier bag, so no difference there. However, there is a back pocket here that is not a zip pocket, and then on the back side you do have a little back pocket. I know that on the DeMellier bags that don't have the back pocket, I have seen people comment that they wish that they did because it is convenient to be able to put like a little parking ticket or something in here. This is not a big pocket whatsoever. You're not going to be fitting anything like a phone. You could fit like a credit card or something like that. Again, your parking ticket, which is really probably what I would use a small pocket like this for. Now, as far as the leather is concerned, I do feel like, to me, as an average person, I'm not a leather expert by any means. I'm not, what's that guy's name that takes apart the bags? He has a great channel if you haven't seen it. I think it's like, Tanner Leatherstein or something like that. I know he did a video on Polene, and basically what he does, if you haven't seen, is he cuts the bags apart. He is a leather expert. He goes into the construction, the stitching, everything to tell you how much the bag costs to make and if it's worth the price point in his opinion. Now this one has a combination leather. It is a combination grained leather and a smooth leather. Now when I first bought the bag, I was a little bit worried about the smooth leather. I can tell you that this part doesn't have any scratches. I did unfortunately get a little nick there on the handle. I don't even know what from, but unfortunately it like nicked a part of the leather off. Now moving on to the strap, I earlier did say that I felt like the DeMellier strap was flimsier than my Polene strap, and I do feel like this leather is just thicker. I feel like it is sturdier. I have more faith in this leather strap holding up than I do with my DeMellier strap. Now, when I compare the two, they really are kind of the same as far as thickness goes. Like they're the same width and really the same thickness, but I don't know, maybe it's just, this is like a softer leather and this one is a tougher leather. And again, for that reason, I have more faith in the Polene strap holding up over the DeMellier strap. Now it is a similar mechanism as far as adjusting the bag. You do have this button here that you can pop out and then you can shift it and pop it into any one of these hole punches. And if you had like one of those little hole punches for leather, you can make more if you wanted to. I do feel like this is a better button. It is a little bit harder to get in. The other one was easier to move and adjust, and I think for that reason, this is why this one is like a little more trustworthy in my opinion. This one, the leather is cut near the buttons, and I think that's to make it easier to get the button into the hole, but because of that, it's easier for the button to pop out of the hole, which happened to me on those two occasions that I mentioned. And I don't know, I just feel like this one is sturdier. It has these two bands here to kind of like give it more security, which I do think work. So as far as the strap goes and the adjusting, this one is a little harder to work. It's a little harder to adjust, but I feel like once you do adjust it, you can have more faith that it's going to be secure. Now, as far as hardware goes, as you can see, this bag does not have a lot of hardware. It has the snap button in the front. Then you have these two little snap buttons on the inside that you can pop open and expand the bag if you need to fit something larger. And it still looks good closed when you have those buttons snapped open. So it doesn't really change the design a whole lot. I feel like the bag is still very appealing. And then at the bottom of the bag, you do have feet, which is nice because it protects the bottom of the bag, but those feet will get some wear and tear. So they do have some scratches. All 4 feet have scratches at the very bottom. I don't know if it'll focus enough for you to see, but just in the middle, each one does have a little scuff mark, which I'm okay with. I think that's like the purpose of the feet, is to protect the leather, and I'd rather have this bottom protected, especially with the beautiful contrast stitching. I also carry this as like a top handle bag a lot, and I don't feel like the leather has been stained by the oils of my hand at all. So again, really like this leather. I feel like this leather is just slightly nicer than the DeMellier leather. Overall, both of these bags are beautiful. I think they're great bags for the price point. I do think that the Polene bag is a little better quality than the DeMellier bag. If I were to go back in time and I didn't have either one of these bags, I would buy this one again. I probably would not buy this one. I'm thinking actually of selling the DeMellier bag. I will say that if I were to buy a bag from a brand again, it would be Polene over DeMellier. Well, that's it for this video. If you are thinking about adding a bag from either one of these brands, let me know in the comments below, and I hope this video was helpful. I am just coming to you with the perspective of an everyday user and not necessarily a leather expert. If you want to have the opinion of a leather expert, I would go visit that channel that I was mentioning to you earlier in the video. I'll link the channel down below so that you can check it out. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.